September 2021, the world witnessed something unprecedented. A humble South Korean survival drama exploded overnight into a global phenomenon, shattering streaming records and sparking headlines everywhere. What seemed at first like a dark parable about greed and desperation hid a far more shocking truth. A story of unrelenting ambition, betrayal, and reinvention. In this documentary, you will discover how a writer's decade-long struggle led to the birth of a billion-dollar brand, how a single series nearly broke its own creator, and how the real shock came when Netflix announced the cost of producing Season 2. Stay with us as we unveil never-before-told moments behind the scenes, the fierce corporate battles, and the human toll that shaped the Squid Game's empire. Long before Squid Games ranked as Netflix's most-watched series, the idea lived on a cramped laptop in the home of Hwang Dong-hyuk. In 2008, Hwang sat in his sole apartment. One room no bigger than a walk-in closet, writing by candlelight after losing his day job. He drew inspiration from childhood memories of playground games, video games he loved, and the gnawing question of what people would sacrifice for survival. Ideas flowed, but studios were hesitant, and over the next 10 years, Hwang pitched countless times, only to hear that his script was too violent, too bleak, or too local. Each rejection felt like a nail in the coffin of his dream. Then, in late 2019, Netflix offered a lifeline. The streaming giant had begun investing in Korean content and saw potential in Hwang's bold vision. With a modest budget of roughly $30 million, the production crew gathered on a soundstage. Lead actor Lee Jang-jae arrived with no idea his role would redefine his career. Contestants in green tracksuits would become icons of global pop culture. From those first auditions to Hwang's marathon editing sessions, the project took on a life of its own. But the real breakthrough came when Netflix greenlit international marketing, a move that would catapult the series to unimaginable heights. On September 17, 2021, Squid Games landed on Netflix's platform. Within days, it shattered records, logging more than 100 million views in its first month. The world was captivated by the stark contrast of pastel game sets and mortal peril. Social media ignited with memes, cosplay, and commentary in dozens of languages. But what fueled this frenzy was a deeper resonance. In an age of widening inequality, people saw their fears reflected in the desperate struggle of the masked VIPs and anonymous players. By October, merchandising deals were rolling in. From collectible figurines to themed escape rooms, Squid Games became a brand, not just a show. Major retailers reported nearly 200% increases in revenue for replicas of the iconic tracksuits. Fashion designers borrowed the neon green palette and square circle triangle motifs for runway collections. Even theme parks in the United States and Europe scrambled to build immersive attractions. At the same time, some critics warned of copycat tragedies, unlicensed games causing injuries and even fatalities. Yet the Netflix series continued to dominate conversation. But the real shock came when Netflix revealed production costs for Season 2 would top $200 million. Share prices wavered as investors wondered whether the appetite for more blood-pounding competition could match the original's lightning strike success. Behind the headlines lurked a crisis of trust. As production on Season 2 ramped up, Hwang found himself at the center of a storm. Writers Guild strikes in the United States delayed key post-production work. Rising costs strained budgets, More alarming were reports that some cast and crew members faced emotional burnout from the show's relentless intensity. Rumors of disputes over profit-sharing spread through industry circles. At the same time, Netflix was under pressure to justify the massive investment. Subscribers demanded new episodes, but also feared fatigue with the franchise. Then, in April 2024, came a public relations nightmare. A theme park accident in California linked to an illegal Squid Game-style event left participants injured. Lawsuits multiplied. Families of victims alleged the brand had fueled dangerous copycats. Sponsors pulled ads. Press turned from praise to condemnation. For a moment, it seemed the brand could implode under its weight. What happened next changed everything. Netflix executives convened emergency meetings. Hwang was asked to step aside from creative control. Fans decried the decision on social media. The Squid Game's brand teetered on collapse. In the months that followed, Netflix and Hwang negotiated a dramatic comeback plan. Season 2 would refocus on character redemption and social commentary, dialing back the gore in favor of psychological suspense. Hwang returned to writing tables, determined to restore trust. Meanwhile, the brand launched a series of charity partnerships addressing real-world inequality in South Korea and beyond. A portion of merchandised proceeds went to social welfare programs. Netflix released a making-of documentary showcasing the emotional journeys of the cast and crew. Lessons emerged. Viewers learned that viral success can carry a human cost. Executives realized that unchecked expansion invites peril. Hwang learned to embrace collaboration over control. Slowly, the cultural conversation shifted. By late 2024, buzz around the new episodes eclipsed lingering criticism. Critics praised the series' reinvigorated themes and nuanced approach to power and desperation. Merchandise sales rebounded when fans saw their favorite actors championing causes in interviews and charity events. But here's what really happened behind closed doors. Creative disagreements nearly sank the entire project again. Insiders admit that only last-minute rewrites saved the finale from collapse. These twists reveal how fragile even the most powerful brands can be. Today, Squid Game stands as more than a TV show. It is a case study in global storytelling, brand management, and the complex relationship between art commerce and social responsibility. Season 2 now streams to record-breaking viewership, topping 120 million hours in its first week. Spin-off podcasts, graphic novels, and interactive online experiences extend the universe. Fans rewatch episodes, hunting for Easter egg references to early drafts of the script. Scholars analyze the series in universities from Seoul to New York. And aspiring creators see in Hwang's journey proof that persistence can overthrow every barrier. As you reflect on the Squid Game's brand, you realize that beneath the neon game sets and life-or-death stakes lies a universal tale of human resilience, ambition, and redemption. The story continues to unfold with every viewing, so the next time you press play, remember that the real game is not on screen but in the hearts and minds of those who created it and those who choose to watch.